What's going on, everyone? I'm Chester. Welcome to my channel, Rox Made This. I'm going to be showing you how I turned this thrifted sub $9 down jacket that's in pretty bad shape into something that looks like this. See? Nice and even now. Look at that. Nice and poofy. Almost like a new jacket. So, we all know that down jackets are an important piece of clothing when it comes to hiking and backpacking in the backcountry, especially because it's got the best warmth to weight ratio. But we all know that it gets pretty pricey when it comes to buying a brand new one. I know that there are a lot of affordable options out there, just like this one. This is the one from Decathlon. Everyone loves this one. It's cheap. This is the Decathlon 4-Class MT100 down jacket, I think is what it's called, which is pretty affordable in most cases. I think I got this one for $85 plus tax. So it's pretty affordable considering there are down jackets out there with the same warmth to weight ratio as this one for almost double the price. Truly, in my opinion, the best option is still to thrift your jacket. I know that it can be a lot more time consuming. It's a way more cost effective method and it saves you a lot of money. Money that can go towards more important things like your big three for backpacking and hiking, you know? So, I got all of these jackets for the price of this Decathlon jacket from the thrift store. The main title of this video is the $9 jacket, and this is the jacket that we're going to be restoring. I took off my jacket, but it's getting kind of warm, so most of the time you're going to find the jackets that look like this or this, which is, you know, you look like the Michelin Man, the iconic puffy jacket style, and you get lucky, you know. Most of the time you'll just find it this one, but sometimes you'll find a jacket that's in really bad shape. And for most people, they'll say, oh, this is a throwaway jacket. As you can see, all of the down, they didn't wash it correctly. All of the down is pushed to one side. It's all clumped up, you know. But overall, the shell itself is in good condition. So I'm going to show you how I am going to try to revive this jacket to turn it back into, or to get it as close to this jacket as possible, because this one was just oily and crusty, and I just washed it, but I'll show you how to do that afterwards. The easiest way to find down jackets is obviously look for the puffy ones that look like a Michelin Man one. And then second thing is to feel it. If you still can't tell, there's always a tag inside. Obviously, if you're unsure, it might be best to just leave that jacket alone just in case. But most of the time it'll say it's a down jacket. This one is by Alpine Tech. It says down jacket here. But the main one that you can look for is this tag right here. And it says 90% down and 10% waterfowl feathers. So yeah, let me show you how I do this. That is my long ass intro, and let's get to fixing this jacket. Okay, a few things that I do, or there's like three main things that I do here. So I first fill this up with warm water, not too hot, like warm enough for you to touch, but like you need to be able to warm up the fibers in here, and it helps loosen up the dirt as well. So just kind of just warmer than lukewarm, if that makes sense. Okay, real quick, one of the first ingredients I put is Dawn dish soap, and I usually put a few pumps of this in here. I don't really know how much I put. It's like whatever this pump full, 2 to 3 times depending on how many jackets you're trying to soak at once. So go 1, 2, and like I'll do half because I'm only doing 2 jackets. I figured if it's safe enough to wash little ducklings from oil spills, I feel like it's safe enough for a $9 down puffer jacket, you know? Okay, so real quick, I put a small tablespoon, like this is about a tablespoon of OxyClean, but I don't know if it's good for down feathers, but I mean, I've done it to 3 jackets already and they've turned out pretty well. I find that it helps take off the stuck on like whatever bits that are caked onto the jacket a little bit better than the Dawn dish soap. Okay, I might add a little bit more water, but again, so this is what I do before I start soaking. I usually take off all, I take off all the tags, right? And then I zip up all of the zippers. So make sure all the zippers are closed, all the pockets are closed. I feel like this also helps with the safety of the jacket so that the zippers aren't pinching on each other when it's washing. So zip them all up. Make sure that there's nothing inside in here. You know, the thrift store doesn't usually check for pockets. I found like papers in one of them. So yeah, so that's usually how I set it up. One little side thing that I've noticed with these jackets is, unfortunately, neither of these are actually packable. The two Eddie Bauer ones that I found, that I restored from my jacket and my wife's jacket, is actually packable. So that was kind of cool. So you do get lucky sometimes, but I mean, again, I'm trying to show you the worst of the worst that you can get and still be able to achieve something that can keep you warm and is very affordable. Again, I'll just mix this with my hand real quick. I feel like I'm gonna add a little bit more warm water to this. It's not warm enough, but I'll do that while I'm putting these into the bucket. Just dunk it in there, right? Try to get all the air bubbles out. And I usually soak this for about 40 minutes, and then I'll rotate it, because over time one jacket will end up floating to the other one, floating to the top. So I like to flip it to make sure that both jackets become fully soaked. So I'm just trying to get all the air bubbles out first. Basically try to squeeze out all the water and make sure that your solution gets soaked into the fibers and the down of the jacket, and that's what helps kind of loosen everything up, you know? Even if you have one jacket, I would still flip it, just because you're gonna have parts of it float to the top and some of it submerged, so you just wanna make sure that everything's soaked in. And it creates a lot of bubbles, which is kind of therapeutic. I'll keep pressing this down. Yeah, we'll come back to it after my bubble therapy session. Okay, so now after the jackets have been soaked, next thing to do is to toss them in the washing machine. It is recommended to use a side loading washing machine, but I don't have one of those, and also I don't really want to go to a laundromat and film a laundry video. So this is how I've always done it. Again, use the top loading at your discretion, but if you're not filming, yeah, go ahead and go to a laundromat and use the top loading washing machine. I would say only do 2 of them maximum at a time, especially if you're gonna do it in. The reason why you don't want to do it in a top loader is because that agitator is a little aggressive and it has a tendency to maybe damage the garments. The water's all black, so you know, at least we got some of that dirt out, all that human gunk caked onto the jackets. Okay, another important step is to use proper down detergent. I used to just wash it straight from the bucket and no detergent, and that worked pretty good, but I read online that this stuff really helps with properly cleaning your down. The one by Nikwax is one that a lot of other content creators and people on Reddit say that is good for down jackets. So especially if it's a jacket that is in poorer condition, you want to give yourself the best chance of outcome. It's like 12 or 15 bucks depending on where you are or where you buy it on Amazon. So I'll leave a link in the description down below if you guys want to pick one up. For the top loading, there's a way to do it. You got to let it fill up all the way because it doesn't have a detergent dispenser. Yeah, it doesn't have a detergent dispenser, so you have to let the water fill up and then you got to put your detergent in if you are going to wash it in a top loader. What I do is I have it on delicates, tap cold, and it's a small load, so you just put on small load. I let it fill up. Once all the jackets are like floating, then I'll put the Nikwax Down Wash into it. For some reason the mic didn't record my audio, but in this part I let the washing machine fill up a little bit halfway through, and I put about 2.5 capfuls of the Nikwax detergent into the wash and mixed it around. Okay, now that the wash is done, it's gonna look something like this. Yeah, as you can see, all of the down fibers are really flat, but I'll show you how to basically fluffen this back up. So we'll put it in the dryer. For the dryer settings, you want to go low and slow. If you have a delicate setting like mine, which is about 25 to 30 degrees Celsius, I've had a lot of success with this drying method. Yeah, so the main component of drying these correctly is tennis balls or dryer balls or whatever. Yeah, the dryer balls. Basically what it does is it helps break apart the little down fibers. It helps loft it back up. And another step that you have to take, which I'll show you in a bit, is every 20 to 30 minutes you're gonna want to take it out of the dryer, fluff up the down inside of it, kind of spread it around so that it starts lofting up nicely. And yeah, I'll show you how to do that after in about 20 minutes. Oh yeah, a side note, you're gonna want to do this when everybody's awake because it does get pretty loud with the dryer balls or the tennis balls kind of tumbling in there. So Don't do this at like 12 o'clock in the morning when everyone's asleep. Anyway, let's continue. Okay, so it's been about 25-30 minutes and I'm gonna check up on the jackets to see how they look. This one was the one that still looked pretty good, and this is the one that we're trying to work on. As you can see, it's already starting to loft up a little bit. It's in a lot better shape than it was before. So what I'm gonna try to do now is kind of move around the down feathers, the down fibers, I guess. It is still clumped up a little bit, but don't worry, it's all good. You just want to make sure that it's all spread out nicely. I don't know if you can remember that the bottom, all of it was in the one section as opposed to the whole area. So it is starting to puff up a little bit. And yeah, but we're looking pretty good. It's going to take a decent amount of time because there are still damp spots, as you can see, where the down has still clumped up a little bit, but that's okay. If you keep repeating this step every 20 to 30 minutes, you'll get a pretty good result. And it's already improving, so it's a good sign. Tennis balls are doing a pretty good job, actually. And I usually just give it a good shake before I toss it back in and start it. So, you know, really try to get that loft back into the jacket. Yeah, we're gonna start it and come back and see how it's going. Okay, another 30 minutes has passed. Let's take a look at the jackets. Oh yes, it's getting a little bit more puffy, as you can see in the back. Make sure you shake it out. There are damp spots that you can feel, and that's where the down tends to clump up, so you want to kind of pull it apart like this with your hands and then shake it around so that it moves around the little channel that it's supposed to be filling up. So we just got to be patient and basically keep running it until we get the desired result we want. I'm gonna run it again and just keep fluffing it, and I'll show you the end result when I'm done with it. All right, after quite some time drying, I finally got it to even out. As you can see, it's pretty poofy now. It's not lumpy like before, especially the back. I don't know if you can remember, the back was all lumpy and now it's all nice and poofy. There are some sections that I think they still need to get fluffed out a little bit more, but other than that, like, it's a vast improvement from what I started with, for sure. And again, this was only $8.49, so for a little bit of work and $9, you get a pretty decent jacket. It's pretty good quality, and it's 90% down and 10% feather, so you get a lot of loft with it, for sure. It's a little bit too big for me, but I'll probably just give it away to either one of my uncles or my dad or somebody who needs a down jacket. Or, I don't know, I might just keep it. Maybe a bigger jacket's good for layering as well. So with a little bit of effort and time, you can get a pretty decent jacket for not a lot of money for your backpacking trip. So my channel is all about trying to reuse materials, kind of like how I do pallet projects, and also, you know, recycle material that is destined for the landfill. Because like most of the time, stuff that doesn't get used or sold at thrift stores, they end up at the landfill anyway. So I like to try to reuse a lot of materials and save them if I can. So thank you for watching. I appreciate everybody who watches these videos. I'm gonna leave a link in the description for the detergents, the Nikwax detergents, if you guys want to try that out. But definitely Dawn dish soap. I mean, if it's safe enough for the little ducklings that are being cleaned off from the oil spills, it's probably safe enough for a $9 down jacket. And again, thanks for watching. If you like my videos, hit the thumbs up. If you want to see more, subscribing would be highly appreciated. And as always, thanks for watching.